Hello, my name is Toby, and today I'm showing you another tutorial in RPG Maker VX Ace. So last time we covered the basics of a field, as you can see here, and since then I've made a new map by right clicking and clicking new map. I called it the cave and set the tile set to dungeon. So now we've done that, I'm basically going to start drawing out the cave as I imagine it. So I'm going to flood fill with this nice light brown colour. So now we need to look at the tile set and pick which walls we're going to use. Now we want to use walls that contrast, or they've got to contrast enough with the floor, but at the same time they can't be too different, they can't be too radically different. So we're going to try this one to begin with. Now this is the ceiling that I'm using at the moment, as you can see over here, and I'm going to create an irregular shape because obviously caves, natural caves, aren't completely square. So when I'm happy with it, I'm just gonna take the wall section here. Now I'm using the rectangle so I can drag 2 blocks high at a time. Now this is the default look that most games have. The characters are 1 frame, 1 square high. So it kind of looks good to have two walls, 2 square high walls. Alright, so that actually looks alright. Now we're gonna place some decoration around the cave. So I'm not sure I like the bright floor we've got here, so I've picked the darker floor and gonna fill that in. There we go. I like that better. So now we've done that, I want to create a section of the cave that's going to drop down slightly. So to do this, I'm going to click pencil tool, and I've highlighted these 3 steps here. Now I'm just going to click once, and now it looks like the steps lead up to the upper section. However, we need to put a wall section next to it, there. So now it looks like those stairs lead up to this area. Okay, so now we've done that, let's start filling it with some decoration. Undo that, grab the rectangle tool for this. So this is just wooden planks on the walls, just to make it look like the cave has been occupied by some humans and they've reinforced the walls so that they don't collapse on them. I like to do this on caves where humans have been. I think it just looks a bit more lived in. You don't have to do it on all the walls, you can leave gaps here and there, and plenty of broken pieces. Going to take some planks of wood here, put those around in some of the corners. Then we'll take some natural stones, just plonk a few piles of that around, and some larger stones here and there. Maybe quite a big one. So I'm just clicking once, and that, instead of dragging it, that will just lay the tile at the top. Okay, so quite like that. So how do we get into this cave? Well, in my imagination, I'm thinking a ladder would lead down into the cave. So I'm going to take this rope ladder here, and I'm just going to put it over here. So that's going to be our entrance and exit to the cave. So now we're going to look for some more interesting pieces to lay down. I think it's still looking a little bare. To make it look more lived in, I'll put some more man-made objects here and there. Maybe some broken pots and barrels. A pickaxe perhaps. And the odd cobweb is always nice. I'll put a rope next to the ladder in case the ladder breaks for whatever reason. So I like to imagine that this is a cave where somebody has come down to live, someone who hasn't got a home. So I'm going to lay a makeshift bed down somewhere over here probably. Or what might be nice if we separate the sleeping area from the living area, just like you would in a house. So I'm going to lay that bed there, and to make this more look like a living area, I'm going to put a table and a chair. And I put an upturned chair in there somewhere. Alright, so I'm fairly happy with how this looks. So now we've got the cave designed, I'm going to create the first event. So to create an event, we click on the little event button up here, and that will make a grid show up over the top of the map. Now each of these squares can have one event in it. So if we want to make an event that leads one map to the other, we click on it, double click to open the event. We're going to call this transition 1, and then we're going to double click and look for the transfer player. Here we go. Then we'll click this, and then you've got your maps on the left, so we'll click that. Now I want to have the cave pop out over here somewhere, so I think just below this little bit of grass that we put there, that looks like a good place to pop up. Click OK, OK, and then over here we've got the priority. So if you want your character to be able to walk on top of the event, you click below character. If you want them to not be able to walk on it, you click same as characters. So that's basically putting the event on the same layer as the characters, so you can't walk over it. And above characters means that your characters will walk under the event, but it will still be triggered. So we're going to go with below character for now. Trigger, this is if you want the action button to trigger the event, you put that. Player touch is when your player moves onto the event or touches the side of the event. Event touch is where the event moves towards the player and touches the player. That triggers the event. Auto run, as it says, runs automatically in the background. This overrides everything else. And parallel process is an event that runs alongside other events at the same time, so you can have more than one event running. So we're going to go with player touch for this one and click OK. So that took us quite a while to make that simple transfer event. Now I'm going to show you a quick way to make a transfer on the field. So over here, this is where the ladder will pop up. So before we make the event, we need to go back to the map and find, here we go, this here. This is the graphic that's going to create the hole where the ladder pops up. So now we've done that, we can go back to events. This time, instead of left clicking, if we right click and go to quick event creation, then you can click transfer. Click this, go to the cave, and then click where you want the ladder to lead. Click OK. Now just quickly, direction. This is the direction in which your character is facing once they have been transferred. So we want the direction to be facing down because you're going down the ladder. Okay, so now these events are linked, so when the player touches this event, it will transfer them to the cave where you can walk around, have a look about, and then when you want to leave, you just walk up the ladder, touch this event, and then that will transfer you back to the field. So that's a basic cave and the very first event tutorial. I hope you look forward to the next tutorials where I'll probably be showing some more events and going into a bit more detail. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.